Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to start with India-Maldives relations. So the headings under which we are going to talk about this topic is the importance of Maldives for India, the timeline, evolution of India-Maldives relations, areas of cooperation between the two countries, areas of conflict, the recent issue which is definitely the most important part, and the way forward. Okay, so let's start with it. Now, the importance of Maldives. See, the first importance of it is because of its location. So it is the strategic importance, it's because of its location, being located in the Indian Ocean region. Maldives is barely 70 nautical miles away from the Minicoy Island, which is of Lakshadweep, and 300 nautical miles away from the India's west coast. Okay, so let me show you in the map. This is the Minicoy Island and this is Maldives, and both are separated from each other by this 8-degree channel. This is an important point. You must remember it for the prelims perspective. So Minicoy Island and Maldives, they are separated from each other by this 8-degree channel, and it is just that 70 nautical miles. It's the difference between it, and Maldives from the Indian mainland, it is the 300 nautical miles. So it should be remembered. Now, it is situated at the hub of commercial sea lanes running through the Indian Ocean. So definitely it is situated at the hub, since its location is such that a lot of sea lanes of communication pass through it. So this is another important point, and it can play an important role in fighting piracy in the Indian Ocean region. So definitely it can play an important role in fighting piracy as well. So this is the strategic importance, which is because of its location very close to the Indian mainland, very close to the Minicoy Island in the Indian Ocean region. So this is the strategic importance. Then is definitely this regional stability. A stable and prosperous Maldives aligns with India's neighborhood first policy, promoting peace and security in the Indian Ocean region, which is an important part of India's Sagar policy, that is security and growth for all in the region. And also Maldives is basically an important part of the Sagar policy, and India is a net security provider for Maldives as well. So this is also important for the regional stability. Then Indians constitute second largest expatriate community in Maldives. Like people who are living outside the country, they are basically called as expatriate community. So Indians constitute the second largest expatriate community in the Maldives. So this is the importance of Maldives for India. Okay, so and when it comes to what is the importance of India for Maldives, would definitely be it for the provision of security. Like India has always been the first responder whenever Maldives has required. Then it is important also for the security of Maldives. So like we will be talking about the areas of cooperation between the two countries, how India is helping Maldives in case of its infrastructure, its connectivity projects and all these things. So this is an important point to be remembered. Okay, so I have shown you this map. So it's an important 8-degree channel, and yeah, this is important. Malé is the capital of Maldives. This is also a point which must be remembered. And there's this called as Addu Atoll, which is the south. This is Addu Atoll is the southernmost atoll which is of Maldives. So do remember it as well. Okay. Now the timeline. This timeline is basically about the political situation which is there in Maldives, which is actually impacting India-Maldives relations. So that's why it's just important to have a brief look at it, so that we can understand the evolution of relationships between India and Maldives as well. So what's this timeline? It got its independence in 1965 from the Britishers. 1978 to 2008, there was the rule of Abdul Gayoom. He was the person who was the president. 2008 में there were multi-party elections. Mohammad Nasheed of Maldives Democratic Party, he became the president. Then in 2012 he was forced to resign. 2013 to 18 it's Abdullah Yameen who became the president. 2018 to 23 Ibrahim Soli of Maldives Democratic Party, he became the president, and now Mohammad Muizu, he has become the president of Maldives. So why it is important? Mohammad Nasheed, he is the person who has pro-India tilt, like he is the person who consider India first policy. Okay. Abdullah Yameen, he was considered to have this pro-China tilt. Ibrahim Soli, pro-India, and Mohammad Muizu, he is considered to have this pro-China tilt. So, and this is because of this political scenario in Maldives. This is going to impact India-Maldives relationship as well. So now we are going to move towards the evolution of the relationship between India and Maldives. Okay, so evolution of the relationship of India-Maldives. Okay, the relationship between India and Maldives has evolved over the years, influenced by geopolitical, economic, and strategic considerations. So the first thing is, Maldives gained independence in 1965, and India was among the first countries to recognize Maldives after its independence and to establish its diplomatic relations with the country. So this is an important point, that India was amongst the first countries to recognize Maldives as an independent country and establish diplomatic ties with it. Then in 1976, it was about 1965 when India established diplomatic ties with Maldives. In 1976, what happened? India resolved its maritime borders. Under this maritime boundary agreement, India resolved its maritime borders with Maldives. And there's now a question. There was another country as well with which India resolved its maritime borders through this maritime boundary agreement. Which was that country? Do let me know about it in the comment section. Okay, so India resolved its maritime borders with Maldives, recognizing Minicoy Islands to be an integral part of India. So through this island, through this agreement, Minicoy Island, I have already shown you that island in the map, that it was considered to be a part of India through this 1976 maritime boundary agreement, which came into force in 1978. So it was adopted in 1976 and actually came into force in 1978. In 1988, now what happened in 1988? Under Operation Cactus, Indian armed forces helped the government of Maldives in the neutralization of the coup attempt. So there was this coup attempt in Maldives, but Indian armed forces helped the government of Maldives in order to neutralize this attempt. So Indian armed forces helped to prevent this coup attempt which happened in Maldives. So India helped Maldives in this case. India then was the first country to assist Maldives during the 2004 tsunami as well. So I have told you that till the time of 2008, Abdul Gayoom was the president of Maldives. Okay, and it was in 2008 that multi-party elections took place. Since 2008 as well, during the time of Abdul Gayoom, the relations between India and Maldives, they were really very good. Okay, Maldives, and in 2008, what happened was Maldives experienced a peaceful political transition, and there was this multi-party democratic elections took place, and Mohammad Nasheed, he became the president of Maldives. And Mohammad Nasheed, he was also a person who was having the pro-India tilt. Okay, so he became the president, and the relationship between India and Maldives improved. There was focus on economic cooperation, trade, and people-to-people ties. India provided developmental assistance to Maldives, particularly in infrastructure projects and capacity building. So it's something which happened during the times of Mohammad Nasheed. So in 2014, there was this water crisis in Malé, which is the capital of Maldives. And during this time, India was actually the first responder. India provided drinking water supplies to the capital city. Okay, but actually, what was the thing was that in 2013, there was this person, Abdullah Yameen, who became the president of Maldives, and he was the person who was having this pro-China tilt. So actually, this period of 2013 to 2018, this was a period of strain between like the ties between India and Maldives. They were strained during this period. The relationship faced challenges during the presidency of Abdullah Yameen, with concerns over issues as democratic backsliding, human rights, and a perceived tilt towards China. Maldives' growing engagement with China, including infrastructure projects under BRI, raised the strategic concerns for India. So Maldives joined the BRI of India, so there were these strategic concerns for India as well, and there was this pro-China tilt as well of the president of Maldives. Now, in 2018, there was again that shift of the government, change of government, and this time Ibrahim Mohammed Soli, he became the president of Maldives, and there was this again renewed engagement from the time of period of 2018 to 2023. Again, there was a shift in the bilateral relations. There was renewed emphasis on strengthening the ties with India. The two countries reaffirmed their commitment to democratic values, and India extended financial assistance for various developmental projects. So there was this renewed engagement in these relations actually. Okay, so what happened in then 2023? Again, elections took place, and again there was change of government. And this time, Mohammed Muizu, he became the president of Maldives, and he is the person who came into power, and his election campaign basically it was based on India Out campaign. He is the person again who is having this pro China tilt. Okay, so the main thing like because of which he came into power was basically this India Out campaign, and we will also discuss about how he like after coming into power as well, what he did was he immediately asked Indian troops which have been there in Maldives for quite a long time to leave India, and like 15th March was the date which was given by him for Indian troops to leave Maldives. Okay, and not only that, he made diplomatic visits to various countries, and he made visits to Turkey and China first before his recent visit to India. Actually, the trend is such that the first the presidents make a visit to India, and after that the visit to China is made because of India having more of because of giving the importance to the bilateral relations with India. But what he did was he made a visit to China first before making a visit to India. Okay, so this was also something like there was a kind of strain in the relationship. I will be talking about the recent phase in the relationship. I will be talking about it in a great detail. We will be discussing about it. Okay, so again, this is something which you should remember first, that he is the person who was thought to have this pro-China tilt. But now there is again this small shift which is coming in the relationship, like in the year of 2024, even after his visit to India. So we will be talking about the recent phase in the great detail. Okay. Now, moving forward. Now, since we have discussed about this evolution in the relationship, now we will be talking about the areas of cooperation which are there between the two countries. The first thing is this: India as a first responder and net security provider for China. How can we give it like India is the first responder and the net security provider to Maldives? It is during the tsunami of 2004, India was the first responder to provide assistance to Maldives. During the water crisis of 2014, India provided with drinking water supplies to Malé. Then rapid and comprehensive assistance during COVID-19 to Maldives. Now, talking about further, like security and defense cooperation. So India, we have talked about India as the first responder and the net security provider. Now security and defense cooperation, that's also an important area of cooperation between the two countries. A comprehensive action plan for defense was signed in April 2016 to consolidate the defense partnership. India provides large number of training opportunities for Maldivian National Defense Force, meeting around 70% of their defense training requirements. India has trained over 1500 this Maldivian National Defense Force trainees over the past 10 years. So also this is a kind of cooperation, defense cooperation between the two countries. There are the joint exercises which take place between the two countries. Do remember the names of these defense exercises. This is Ekurvin, this is Tosi, and this is Ekta. So do remember about these joint exercises which these two countries are the part of. Okay. Now, they are also partners since they are partners in security. India is the first responder and the net security provider for Maldives, and also they are the partners in development. How? Major completed and ongoing developmental assistance projects executed by India. So these are the name of the projects like which have been either completed or they are the ongoing developmental projects in Maldives. Indira Gandhi Memorial Hospital, Maldives Institute of Technical Education, India Maldives Faculty of Hospital and Tourism Studies, Technology Adoption Program in Education Sector in Maldives, National College for Police and Law Enforcement. So these are the way, like under various sectors, how India is providing help to Maldives. This is about this topic like under development, how like which different kind of projects, like be it in the sector of like medicine, be it in the sector of education, how India is providing help to Maldives. Now, then there are various infrastructure projects. India has provided around it's about $800 million line of credit has been provided by Maldives for these projects. Water and sanitation in 34 islands. Addu development project. I have told about Addu atoll, which is the basically southernmost atoll of Maldives. So Addu development project. There's this cancer hospital, Gulhi Falu port project, Hulhu Male Cricket Stadium. These are basically the projects you people need to remember the names of it so that you can mention them as an example. Okay, so do remember them. Then there is this important project, Greater Male Connectivity Project, to connect Male to Willingly, Galhi Falu and Thilafushi Islands through a series of bridges, causeways and routes. And India has provided separate $400 million line of credit for this project and also 100 million grant. Okay, so this is also important point to remember about the infrastructure projects. Okay, now then there is about this trade relations. India emerged as the second largest trade partner in 2022 and the largest in 2023. This is important point. India Maldives bilateral trade in 2023-4 touched almost $1 billion, with India's exports as $892 million and imports at $86.84 million. Okay, so this is about the trade relations. Like basically India is enjoying trade surplus with Maldives. Then tourism. In 2023 alone, among the tourists who traveled Maldives, Indians, they were forming the largest group of tourists. Then again in education, maybe we have talked about the various institutes which have been set up by the assistance of India, and also now India serves as a primary education provider for Maldivian students who pursue higher education in Indian institutions, including the scholarship. And also we can include this point that how various institutes for educational purposes have been set up by Indian assistance in Maldives. Okay, so these are the various points of areas of cooperation between the two countries. We have talked about various points like how India is the first responder. Okay, And second point, we have talked about the security, like both the country, like the countries are the partnership in the, there is this partner, they are the partners in security. So how India is providing this security, and how this point we have talked about. Then we have also talked about developmental projects. Okay, so we have talked about the infrastructure, how many infrastructure projects and how India has provided line of credit in these. Then again, these trade relations, tourism, education. So these are the various headings under which both the countries are cooperating. Okay, now there are some challenges, of course, in the bilateral relations between the two countries, and especially in the present times when there is this pro-China government, when there is this like government in China which is considered to be, there is this government in Maldives which is considered to be pro-China. Okay, so now what are the challenges? So the first and foremost is China in Maldives. China's growing economic presence in Maldives, also because of like Maldives being an important part of China's BRI, evident by investment in infrastructure projects and debt trap diplomacy, can be perceived as a challenge to India's strategic interest in the region. Then China's naval expansion and potential military ambitions in the Indian Ocean with an active support from Maldives can raise a concern for it. And also like it is also an important part of China's string of pearls policy, like the policy which China is following in the Indian Ocean region. Maldives also become like an important part of it. Okay, so Maldives President Moises, so talking about the present situation, Moises, he had paid visit first to China before coming to India. Like before coming to India, in the recent times, after coming to its power, like I have already told that he paid a visit first to China and then to India. His visit was considered as an intentional diplomatic snub to New Delhi, because traditionally, what is the tradition that Muizu's predecessors, they have made their first official visit to India in a nod to New Delhi's importance in the bilateral relations. So earlier, who were there in power, they used to come to India first and then to China. But now he has reserved, like it is considered this thing that this is something which he had done deliberately. Okay, so this is about China in Maldives. Then this India Out campaign, definitely Moizu ki jo like for his election campaign, his main point was this India Out movement only, and soon after coming to power, he insisted that Indian troops leave the island. So this is a kind of challenge between the relationship in the two countries. Okay, then there is extremism and radicalization. This is in rise in Maldives. Maldives' vulnerability to religious extremism and radicalization pose a security threat that necessitate joint effort in countering such ideologies. Then there is this tourism strain. This is also a recent issue. Okay, that tourism scenario in Maldives has gained significant focus due to the diplomatic dispute arising over disparaging comments directed at the Indian Prime Minister after his promotional visit to Lakshadweep Islands. I believe most of you must be aware about it, that some ministers of Maldives, they made some comments about about Prime Minister Narendra Modi, our honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, after he posted a picture on, I guess it was on Twitter that he posted a picture, and on his, like, he visited Lakshadweep and he posted a picture. He was promoting tourism in Lakshadweep, and on this promotional like he was just simply promoting the tourism in Lakshadweep, and there were some comments by some officials from Maldives. Okay, so they commented on the picture, like they were not very good comments about the Prime Minister. Okay, so that is something we can say which resulted in this boycott Maldives trend in India, which has been floating in media as a response to the controversy. Okay, so because of those comments made about our Prime Minister, there has been this boycott Maldives, which has been there as a basically a trend which was there on social media about it. Okay, so there was this tourism strain as well between in the relationship between the two countries. Okay, so this was also a kind of challenge in the relationship. So we have talked about the areas of cooperation and we have talked about the challenges in the relationship as well. Now, so what is left is the recent phase. Okay, although I have discussed a lot many things about the recent phase, but yes, I'll be taking out a like separate class about this recent phase, about the visit of the president of Maldives to India and what have been the key outcomes of that particular visit, and also the way forward which is there. Okay, so we will be talking about all that in the next class, and I guess in the next class we'll be done with this India Maldives relationship as well. So this is all for today. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next class. Take care of yourself.